Walking Blind is hosted by overly emotional dudes who overthink and overanalyze everything. Nothing the hosts say should be taken as medical advice or opinion. They're not professionals, and they're about to make that very clear. So just kick back and hang with them, because you've earned it. Now cue that music. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Walking Blind podcast with Mike Perez and the other Mike.
I was going to say that.
We're back. This is episode 8. We're deep into it, man. We're one above.
We're doing it for reals.
So this is the real deal. We're one above where we thought we'd be. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I like that our first milestone was you're like, if let's start. What was it? Let's do 3. Let's see let's see if we get to 3 episodes.
Let's see what happens after 3 episodes, and then after that we can move forward and see what happens with this podcast. And here we are. You might notice we're back in the living room
Where
we started. We're back to basics because we've been doing this podcast for so long that sometimes you need to change the pace and you need to go back to your roots. So 8 episodes later, we're back in the kitchen.
We're back.
We're cooking up podcasts.
Back where it all
started.
But we have big plans. We have big plans.
We do have big plans. We got some cool stuff coming up. Actually, we got really motivated. Not really because it's New Year's, but just because we figured we needed to switch things up and make things more interesting. Yeah. We got some cool stuff on the way.
Yes.
That being said, episode 8, mental health check. Where are you at?
I don't know. I think I'm doing all right mentally. I don't want to go into too much, but my work is just stressful.
Yeah,
it's a stressful work. I enjoy several aspects of it, but there's just it's just a lot of things going on. I think mostly I've just been tired just because we're a little overworked since we're short staffed, so that kind of thing just added a little bit of I don't know, stress. But I guess mentally I've been doing all right. I got to see my nieces, which is a nice little recharge. I saw them for like 2 seconds yesterday, and then I got to go to breakfast with them and my family today. But I don't know. I've been really trying to get into like things that will like kind of, I guess, like help me decompress or help me to kind of just get my mind out of work mode. And so I started The Witcher.
Yes.
Which I tweeted this out, but I was being 100% serious, and I told you about this, that like I'm proud of myself for like watching that show by myself, because I'm the biggest wimp when it comes to like things that are like kind of scary. And I think there's like real like scary elements to the show.
Now I didn't know this until recent. Like we were sitting at our normal weekend coffee, meetups with Martin, and you started telling me that you had started watching The Witcher. And this whole time I've been like, I'm a big paranormal. I like all of it: monsters, ghosts, demons, goblins, whatever you want to talk about. Like I'm into all of these shows, and I told Mike to watch The Witcher, and I didn't know that you had this like you have a hard time watching anything that's like paranormal or supernatural, and the fact that you watch The Witcher with all these monsters and like ghouls and ghosties. And
being so
like
brave.
And I didn't know that you were afraid of all this stuff. And then Martin would just said it so matter of factly. He's like, yeah, dude, he hates all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Well, even though, okay, so I hate like scary movies. I just don't like them. Don't enjoy them. Yet I still watch them because I feel like on tour I saw both of the Conjuring movies, which are terrifying to me. So yeah, because most of the guys in NBR like they liked horror movies, or at least it was one of the only things that mostly everyone could agree on except me, but I got outvoted. The only thing I can do that's like scary or like horror, I guess, is do shark movies count as horror?
For some people, yeah. Like for some people, like sharks are. So I used to have another podcast. We had this debate before. Is Jaws a horror movie?
Yes. Movie's terrifying.
So I mean, if you're terrified of sharks, then yeah, I guess shark movies would be horrifying. So did you watch like Deep Blue Sea?
That's one of my favorite movies.
But are you afraid of sharks? Are you afraid of the ocean?
Dude, sharks are probably one of my top fears, like next to like earthquakes.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I have like it's like a fascination because they like I will never ever like shark dive or whatever. I think it's so stupid.
You say that now, but when the Walking Blind TV show comes out and we're doing all these adventurous things that you never thought you would do, we're going to go swimming with sharks.
Dude. Again, this is like just like we talked about last week about how I think it's hilarious that you have to pay money to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. I think it's hilarious that you'd have to like pay to go shark diving because it's like you literally would have to pay me. I think.
What if we pay you?
Actually, no, I shouldn't have said
I'll pay you. Well, okay. How about this? We do have a YouTube channel. We have a Walking Blind YouTube channel, right? These episodes all go up on the YouTube channel. Some people watch them. A lot of people don't. It's fine. It's cool. It's not like we work on this or anything. But that being said, if we have more content that you don't get in the show that you'll get like on the YouTube channel, like, maybe Mike jumps out of a plane.
Dude, no way.
Or maybe Mike goes swimming with sharks. Because this is where our like complete opposites come in. I'm into all of it.
I'll go with you.
No, you're gonna do it too.
I'll be the best cheerleader, dude. I will cheer for you.
You can cheer from under the water with a scuba tank, dude. A snorkel.
I was gonna say I would even go on the plane with you to jump out, but I wouldn't. Those planes are tiny. There's no freaking way I would go on one of those little planes.
Dude, it sounds like it's like the title of an NBR song. This could be like Walking Blind, facing our fears, facing my fears, the fears that keep me awake at night.
I feel like this is gonna just make me look like the biggest bitch. Like all the things.
No.
All the many things I'm scared of. All right, going back. So,
Walking Blind, the YouTube series. Mike's afraid of everything.
Everything. But yeah, so I watched The Witcher, which, trying to make it sound like by myself at night.
You've been trying to make it sound cool.
But I for anyone who doesn't know what The Witcher is, it's hard to explain, but I didn't know. I was literally about to call Mike and be like, hey man, like I really wanted to enjoy this, but I don't get it, and it's just not for me. Like that's
You're talking about season 1 of the TV show,
season 1 of The Witcher,
the Netflix series.
Yeah, and so I was like already kind of preparing like what I was gonna say, because I was like, man, like there's parts of this stuff that are like interesting and cool, but I just feel like I'm missing so much. And then when I realized, is it a spoiler? Is that a timeline?
Season 1 spoiler. Yeah.
Season 1 spoiler. I guess it's been out.
Season 2's out now. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like different timelines, and once I realized that, it changed the entire show for me, and I actually was like blown away by how good it is now that I realize like what's happening.
When all of it kind of merges together and you figure out what's going on, you're like, oh.
Yeah. And so once I kind of started to make those connections, it became like super more. It became so much more enjoyable, and then now as I tend to do, I'm on a pretty big deep dive now
into the lore.
Into the lore. I'm trying to learn as much as I can about that fake world,
which is something that you did with Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So this is scary because like Game of Thrones, It's one of my triggers. But
I feel like Game of Thrones probably had a lot more content for you to dive into. I mean, The Witcher does have a lot. Okay, it was a book series that was later adapted to a video game, and then that was later adapted to a Netflix series. And what Mike is referencing is the Netflix series.
Yes. So, but yeah, so I got really deep into Game of Thrones, and I'm afraid that's what's happening now with The Witcher.
I mean, you just quit your job and play video games and review them.
Oh, dude.
You know,
There's, yeah. But anyway, where are you at? Where's your mental health?
Oh man, I feel like I'm doing that whole let me just fake smile my way through everything right now. We talked a little bit before the show in the garage. And I guess long story short is I need to learn how to take my own advice. You know, like last week I talked about friendship and relationships, and like I've recently found myself like in a situation where I'm like kicking and screaming and fighting to hold on to a friendship that is just like not working anymore. So it's kind of one of those like I'm bummed and I know the reality of it, but it's still hard to not be bummed about it.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, I mean, just cause I think just cause you get to a point where you're like, okay, this is clearly something I need to like move away from or step away from. It like doesn't mean it's like going to feel good.
Yeah.
You know, or
it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, other than that, I mean, considering that this is the New Year's episode, this is the first episode of 2022. I guess it's kind of one of those, like, I don't like to say resolutions because I break 10 out of 10 of my resolutions, like, or at least 9 out of 10 of my resolutions. But like, it's just something to think about moving into the new year. Like what do you do here moving forward? How do you progress? How do you move on? Type of deal.
Well, we'll see about this. I kind of put you on the spot a little bit. What are some things you're going to try to do to kind of get move through this?
I'm going to make a lot of bad decisions.
I'll probably be there for most of them.
You'll probably be there for a lot of them. Mm-hmm. No, man, I really think it's just, like I said, taking my own advice. Like I said last week, like you have to stop. I have to stop thinking about like the what ifs and like what could be, and then also like holding on to the past of like, oh man, it was so cool. This, we were so close, whatever. And then just kind of accept that this is the reality of this situation and then just move forward. I mean, it's not easy to do. Like, it's not easy to lose somebody who's really like in reality, like one of your best friends, right. Like you think about that relationship, you think about that time frame, and you're just like, how do you walk away from that? How do you walk away from somebody that knows you better than most people do, And unfortunately, like, things just change. Things just switch. And people grow in different directions. People, make decisions, take turns that you really wouldn't, there's no predicting it. There's no real answer to the whys. But you just kind of have to roll with the punches and I say all this like I'm talking in third person and I'm supposed to be talking to myself. So once again, New Year's resolution. It's a lot easier to give people advice than to give yourself advice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, it's hard as hell.
It's like like Hitch.
Yeah. Well, it's like I do all the time. Like when I'm giving advice to people, as I'm telling them, I'll even be like, straight up, I know this is difficult. I don't even know if I can do this, but this is, I feel like this is like kind of like the right move. Should you do it? It's hard. I have a hard time doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
it sucks because like the whole reason we started doing this show, I think, was because like we've both been in scenarios where we've attempted to help give people advice, attempted, or just, been somebody to talk to or been somebody, and then when you're that guy all the time, and then you turn around and you have to apply it to yourself. It's not easy whatsoever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just definitely an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
It's but like I said, it's like that movie Hitch with Will Smith with relationships. You can give all the advice in the world, but your relationships are god awful.
Dude,
mine are bad.
That movie hit me really. I'm sure it hit a lot of people, or maybe not. That movie hit me in such a weird way, because like you really don't know what it is that'll be what attracts you to someone. And I guess it doesn't have to be like in a romantic way, but like in all kinds of stuff. Like there's certain like people who it's like you would never think they'd be friends or they'd ever think or they'd date, but then you're like there's just things that they both have something about them that has like been probably so weird to everyone else, but to them it's like their thing.
Yeah.
And like I was like, oh dude, I was like, that's such a cool.
That whole we're gonna start talking our Hitch movie review from 20 years later, like when the scene where she's like, and so you set up the dropping the mustard on his shirt and the really bad dancing, and he's like, all that worked for you, like that's all the shit that I told him not to do, you know. So Hitch, and since we're on this topic anyways, Hitch and what was that movie, Good Luck Chuck, are like the two movies that I was like, oh man, everybody I've dated gets married after me.
Literally every girl I've ever dated except for one is like married with kids.
Oh. So if you guys are looking for Prince Charming, or you're looking for the one, date Mike first. Just kidding. That's mean.
Nah, that's true.
That's mean. It's happened to me too, though, for what it's worth.
Yeah, you know, once they meet us, they're like, ooh.
Like, wow, there is good in the world.
There's good somewhere else.
There's good somewhere else in the world.
So if I look like I'm like checking my phone a lot, it's because I am.
It's because he is. He's looking for questions.
I put out questions, and yeah.
But yeah, man. So that being said, it's one of those gotta keep on keeping on. And I'm also 2022. I'm bringing in that energy because I've got the Bass Pro Shops hat on.
I was gonna say,
and you know, I know that this has become the icon for fuckboys worldwide. But last time I was at the Bass Pro, Martin and I saw these hats and they were $7.99, and so we just both had to get one. Okay. And that's where I'm at.
Dang, it's so expensive. You could have got. It's weird. You could have like. I guess you ran out of money to like. Yeah,
I know. I could have had it in 3 different colors, but you know, I didn't want to overspend my budget.
Dude, this is like kind of off. This is off topic, but you said 3 different colors. One of my favorite windbreakers.
By the way, people, he has more than one windbreaker. He wears them, you know, interchangeably, and you can't tell the difference.
Yeah, I literally have like 4. I used to have 3 of the exact same windbreaker.
Really?
Yeah, and now I'm down to 1. I don't know where the other 2 went. One of them that I ripped the zipper, and then I don't know where the other one went. But yeah,
one of them's over there.
Yeah, another thing I've kind of started doing was if I like something, like especially if it's like a plain black shirt, like a style, I just buy multiple ones of the same thing. And I did that with I found these like collared shirts that I liked.
The polos.
Yeah, and I own multiple ones. Like the red one you saw, I own 3 of those, dude.
That doesn't shock me in the least bit. Well, these shirts, these built basics,
dude.
They're expensive, but they last for forever.
Dude, wait, were you the one that told me about Jiffy?
I don't think so.
Or Jiffy? Or Jiffy, I think.
I don't think it was me because I don't even know what you're talking about.
Anyway, there's like, it's like a wholesale t-shirt. It's just wholesale for clothing. And
the website?
It's a website. And so I saw this. Oh, I know how I found it. I was looking at these dude, I don't know if I want to blast them on here. It's like negative. Anyway, there's a t-shirt company that was getting like promoted super hard for me on like Instagram. And so I was like looking at the you know, I was like, oh, they fit, they seem like they fit well, and you know, but they're like $40 for for like these plain shirts, but they fit well. And so I like went online and I started looking for like reviews on it to see like if they're really worth like $40, like a plain black t-shirt. I don't know.
I think I know which company you're talking about.
Yeah. And so as I was like looking for reviews, the very first video I found was this guy basically showing how this company buys next level t-shirts
and just rebrands them.
They cut off the tag, the next level, and then they rebrand them. And those, so the next level shirts, you can buy them from this website, Jiffy.com, whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's where I go because you can buy them for $4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I saved quite a bit of money. And it was insane. Like they really do, like the other t-shirt company really does cut the tags off, put their own stamp on it, and then resell that same cheap shirt for $40.
That's 90% of American business, man.
I don't like that. No, but anyway, so yeah, that's my. Anyway, so yeah, I have a ton of like those like next level black t-shirts. I have green, I have white, I got a navy one, I have some red ones.
Mostly black though.
But mostly black.
That reminds me. So we want to do some merch. Yep. We want to know if you guys would be interested in us doing merch. So maybe we should put like a little poll up on the gram or something like that. And be like, hey, would you guys rather see, what do you want to see first? You want to see hats? You want to see shirts? You want to see coffee mugs?
Let's just do it all.
Just do it all at once?
Let's do it.
Yeah, man, this show's going to break us financially.
Yeah. Let's just do it.
Speaking of coffee mugs, shout out to my homie Jesse for the coffee mug. It says, "Get that corn out of my face." From one of my favorite movies of all time.
Nacho.
All right, so let's jump into. You want to jump into questions? Do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about episode 1 of Book of Boba Fett?
Oh, let's do questions first, and then we can jump into that.
Okay.
Or actually, no. Let's. Oh, I don't know. Trying to think.
Let's do questions last. We still have questions coming in. Yeah. I mean, my phone's going off of questions too. So, what do you think? Book of Boba Fett. We watched episode 1 while we were. Mind you, if you watch Mike's store or our post on the Walking Blind Instagram, you'll notice that Mike Perez framed his question perfectly. It took 38 minutes for him to get set up for the video. In the time that he was setting up his setup, I grilled some Shack burgers.
Good.
I don't know if you guys have ever had the burgers that Shack has his face on and he's holding the stack, but they're like brisket and Angus beef, I think, and they're pretty fire.
They're really good.
Really good burgers.
Enjoy them.
Anyways, yeah. So while we were setting up for the show today, we were eating food and we decided to watch episode 1 of Book of Boba Fett. And I want to know your thoughts because you're not a huge Star Wars guy, right?
I feel like I'm just enough of a fan to get excited when anything Star Wars comes out.
There's a friend of ours who's real upset with you right now.
But
she will not be happy with you.
I feel like I'm like more than just like a passive fan. Like I feel like, I've seen all the movies. I've watched most of the shows. I haven't seen any of the animated ones though. But I don't really dive that deep into Star Wars lore, I guess.
Okay.
I guess, as I'm saying this, I sound very like, what's the word? I feel like I'm almost like a passive fan because I literally watch it, most of the major.
You're like, I very much sound like I don't like Star Wars.
Yeah. No, I do. I enjoy it. Like I get excited when like a Star Wars movie comes out.
What did you think of The Mandalorian?
I like The Mandalorian a lot, actually. Okay. I like The Mandalorian.
Did you cry? It's been long enough, so spoilers. Did you cry at that final scene?
I didn't cry, but I was stoked. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I think like for I don't know if where this puts me in the Star Wars like discussion of fandom, but I really liked Rogue One.
Okay. Like I really liked Rogue One too.
I think that's one of my one of my favorite Star Wars movies. Like what's it called? Shoot. Of the new trilogy, the first one. Why am I spacing on that?
I know, I am too.
Huh.
By the way, I'm not an insane Star Wars fan either.
But I remember when that was coming out, I was excited. I was excited for like a new trilogy. I didn't really like the prequels.
That's gonna bother me. Keep talking.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't really that big on the prequels. Like, I honestly, this I don't know, this might offend many, but if anyone who knows me, I don't really fall asleep during movies. Mm-hmm. I've fallen asleep several times trying to watch those movies. I don't think I've ever admitted that out loud.
Wait, say that again?
I've fallen asleep several times trying to watch the prequels.
Oh, well, yeah. I guess that makes sense, though.
But I don't fall asleep during movies.
But I think the thing about the prequels that we have to understand is that, like, George Lucas really tailored that to, like, a way younger audience than us at the time. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't...
They felt so, like, boring.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's, I mean, you know, it's the prequels are kind of one of those things where it established, like, some cool lore and established some cool things, but... I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
they were cool for the time, I guess. Visually, they were really cool. I mean, I thought the pod racing stuff was really cool. I really did think the Anakin Padme stuff was really weird, but yeah, I guess that's the story that they wanted to tell.
But so Rogue One is like I think one of my. I don't know if it's my favorite Star Wars movie, but it's definitely one of them. But it's just because of the ending scene, where you finally get to see Vader be Vader.
Yeah,
like
you finally get to see the Sith Lord that everybody was afraid of and terrified of in the galaxy, because that's something you didn't really see in the initial 3 movies, the original Skywalker trilogy,
and which is what made the ending of the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
No, like, for the same.
Yeah.
That's not a spoiler, right?
No. Not now. Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens,
Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker were the newest ones. I honestly think, and I may get shit for this, but I honestly think that the TV series that they're doing are so strong. Mm-hmm. Like compared to this is a hot take that people probably won't agree with me, but I liked Solo. I liked that movie.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was like a fun movie, and I get why people are upset. Oh, it's not whatever. Like I liked the movie. It was cool. But I think that the Star Wars series that they're producing, Mandalorian, even episode 1 of Book of Boba Fett was pretty cool. And then the fact that we're going to see Ahsoka Tano. She's getting her own series, right? From The Mandalorian, the Jedi.
Oh, that came, yeah. In the fog scene, the fog episode.
God, how dare you? Star Wars fans everywhere are so
I know
this right now. And then we're going to get it, hopefully going to get the Obi-Wan series too.
Yeah.
So there's some cool stuff coming. Episode 1 of Book of Boba Fett, though, I like the direction that they're heading in, like making, oh damn, I was going to give away spoilers, making him take the role that he's taking, and kind of get the direction that he's going in, or what it seems like he's going in the series, looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
and visually it looks really cool.
Yeah, I like that they gave us a little. They kind of explained how he's here.
Yeah,
but oh man, I want to tell a story, but I kind of don't want to throw Sarah under the bus.
Why?
I guess not. I just already said her name. Anyway.
Yeah, you already said. Do you want me to bleep that out?
Nah, whatever. So I love going to the movies. It's like one of my favorite things. I love getting my tickets ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
I love being able to pick my own seat, just so that you can show up and you don't have to worry about like where you're gonna sit. Like I love that's like one of my when that started happening.
That was the best thing ever.
It was the best thing ever, and I never understood why it wasn't like a thing sooner. Just because everything else, you pay for what you want to, see, whatever. And so I remember, okay, so again, when The Force Awakens, it was like, I was excited. Everyone, everybody was excited. I was excited. And I'd gotten tickets for opening night. I was able to get tickets. It was like, kind of a big, it was hard. I remember being like difficult to do, and I was able to do it. So I got 2 tickets. And Sarah, who I was dating at the time, she, she was like, yeah, like I told her, I was like, hey, movie starts, whatever, like at 6. So let's try to leave by like, 5-ish. Maybe
what movie was
get
this?
Coffee. Force Awakens.
Oh, okay.
And so she, and she's like, yeah, I'll be ready. So like I go to pick her up, and she's like not even close to being ready. And I'm like, you know what? We have time.
You didn't prepare for this ahead of time? Like you were dating her. You knew how long it took her to get ready.
No, that's the thing, dude. She was normally like pretty good at that.
Okay.
Like, I mean, yeah. Like, I mean, nothing. I was just like, okay, this is, whatever. It's not a total surprise that she's not ready, but like, this is fine. But she was like not ready at all. So I was like, okay, that's weird. And so, so I'm just like, I was like, yeah, no, we're good. Like, we still got time. We probably won't be able to get like coffee or whatever, or, on the way in, but it's fine. We'll just, and, and so like, time's going by, and I'm like, all right, like, it's ready. So yeah, I'm almost ready. Anyway, we were late, like preview, like missed all the previews, and we got there late. And
now hold on. How vital are watching the trailers to you?
Not as vital anymore.
Okay.
Because every trailer
is online.
Is online now.
But seeing it on the big screen.
Yeah. I say back then, we were 2015.
They were still already online at that point.
Yeah. Well, I was okay with that. Okay. I'm okay with missing I'm okay with missing trailers as long as we're like, we're sitting down in the movie, we're gonna watch the movie. But we were so late, so we missed the trailers, and we missed the first like 10 minutes of the movie. That's how late we were. We were so late. Like,
and then you got to do that shuffle. Like, excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah.
Excuse me. My bad. Excuse me.
And like, I don't even know if we got popcorn or drinks. I'm like, anyway.
She's like, well, what about the snacks? She's like, you don't deserve snacks.
Yeah. I just say like, this sounds funny to Mike, but like to movies, I don't like being late to movies. Yeah. And so. Yeah, so that was rough. Anyway, it's funny now, and it's not like it was like the greatest movie or anything. So I'm glad it didn't really start a fight or anything. I can say I was pretty bummed out, but it was fine. Like
Would you have won?
We moved past it. No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Physically, yes. I'm bigger than her.
I liked the new movies. I think I liked the new movies a lot better than most. So it's funny because my cousins, Philip and Nathan was young when the prequels came out, but Philip especially, like, Philip loved them because it was like, that was the Star Wars for his, his generation. And like, he loved the original movies because my uncle, his dad was really big. His dad was actually really big into Star Trek. Which I didn't develop an appreciation for until like maybe within the last couple of years. And then I fully watched like all the old Star Trek series, like with Jean-Luc Picard and like even the yeah.
Sir Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I get these now. Like, maybe it's just age. But I remember watching them as a kid being like, this is so boring. Like, it's all diplomacy. Like everywhere you go. Like, where's the space battles? Anyways, but for Philip grew up watching the Star Wars movies. So when these prequels came out, like that was his shit. And honestly, I didn't even watch the prequels until like they were on DVD and I was at his house. And then I started watching them and I was like, oh, okay, at least the first one. And then after that, I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. Whatever, I'll get into it. And I didn't get into Star Wars until later, but I only got into it because of like him. And then like I read like the Rogue Squadron books and stuff like I played the video games and stuff like that. But I was never like a diehard. So like I'll watch every movie. I'll be there at premieres and stuff like that. But I was never like a diehard fan.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty excited about these new series. I really think that at first when Disney acquired it, I was like, oh man, it's gonna go to shit, whatever. And then when I saw, excuse me, when I saw the, like the first thing that they did was like was it like Star Wars, not Star Wars Rebel, the Clone Wars, like the animated stuff. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna, and I still haven't watched all of it. But from what I understand, from what I'm told, they establish a lot of the lore in those cartoons. So like when Disney acquired Lucasfilm, there's a lot of stuff like from the books and the extended universe that got thrown away. And the stuff that they kept was a lot in like the Clone Wars and Rebels and like all those animated series. They kept a lot of the old backstory in those series, and then the new movies kind of moving forward. So if you really want to deep dive on the Star Wars, I guess you got to watch all those. But
I want to watch the ones that Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah,
So I think is that Clone Wars or?
I think so. I think he was in the Clone Wars, or maybe Rebels. I don't know.
But yeah, so Boba Fett was episode 1. Was it was interesting. It was cool. Random parkour for no reason.
Yeah. a lot of the it's weird how this desert town is really built for parkour. There's a lot of platforms all over the place, a lot of rods you can spin on, a lot of poles.
It was funny because I think I saw a guy do like one little like wall jump, and I was like parkour, and I was just having like that quick internal dialogue like, why'd you say that? Like it's just like one thing. It's like that's not. The guy just jumped. Why would you immediately go to parkour? And then it was like straight up parkour.
Yeah.
They were doing parkour jumps and like wall runs and all that stuff. I was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, okay. My instinct was correct.
Yes. But yeah, it was good. It was interesting. It's I definitely want to see the next episode. I thought it was cool to kind of see how he's still here.
Yeah. There's a clip of who was it? There's a clip of Patton Oswalt, I think. There's a clip of him like I think he was pitching like a Boba Fett movie or like pitching like a Boba Fett something. And this is gonna be a spoiler, but sorry. So and like word for word, he's like pitching this idea of how you see Boba Fett like get out of the Sarlacc pit. And word for word, as he's doing it, this was like the only thing I saw from the Book of Boba Fett before we watched it today. It's a clip of like Boba Fett making his way out of the Sarlacc pit, and even down to like Patton Oswalt is like, and then you just see this desert sand, and then a fist punch out of the sand, and then as he's saying that in the clip, you see the fist punch out of the sand. Is he one of the writers? I don't know what this is from. I just happened to see it. I think we were scrolling through our TikTok or something like that the other day, and I was like, cool. Also, I want you to know, if you saw it on the camera, I just felt this little bit of disappointment in myself that I was like, hey, we were scrolling through our TikTok and I found this.
We have a shared joint TikTok.
Oh. I'm in my mid-30s, guys. Just now discovering the world of TikTok.
The TikTok I'm using is our Walking Blind. We have a Walking Blind TikTok.
I'm gonna start sending all the videos to the Walking Blind one then. So
yeah, do it because I don't have. So I haven't been able to get into my my TikTok in like I guess it's been over a month now, and I just got back into Facebook. I was able to finally get back into my Facebook. But yeah, I can't get in. I liked TikTok. It's funny. There's a lot of like. It's like really easy to get it's so easy to get just completely like go down a rabbit hole of anything because like I put in like raccoons.
Oh, I'm sure yours is.
It's awesome. I can put in what's some Oh, conspiracies are fun on there. There's a ton of and they're like quick. You know, they're quick little things. So it's like you can get through so much. Anyway, yeah, I like TikTok, and it's a really dangerous, dangerous for just like eating up all my time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's dangerously close to taking up a lot of your life.
Yeah. But
I recently got back on Facebook too, like not that long ago, with the sole intention of, all right, let me get back on Facebook and create a Walking Blind podcast page.
Oh, we have one?
No.
Oh. We have
it gets busy. Okay. I solely, that's the sole reason I reactivated my Facebook. And this is how long it's been since I had been on Facebook. I had friend requests that were 7 years old.
Dang.
So if you had added me on Facebook, sorry, don't take it personal. I just,
Don't take it personal. He just looked at your name and kept going.
Yeah, I just looked at your name and left it there for 7 years. Chris, even when I was at his house like a week or two ago, he was like, I was like, yeah, I just happened to get back on Facebook and I saw this thing. He's like, yeah, dog, I had an invite for you for like 6 years. And then I realized that you were never going to add me back. So I just deleted it. And I was like, oh, I just added you just now. He's like, fuck, Michael. This
doesn't hold any weight to anyone. We have our friend Chris, and my brother, who's a pastor, is like Chris is like biggest fan, and it's just Chris being Chris.
We're all Chris's biggest fan.
Oh yeah, but Chris just being Chris is just funny. He's always posting just the most. He's just like funny stuff on his Facebook, and so and I'm not ever on Facebook. So my brother would be like, "Did you see what Chris posted?" I was like, "No, I didn't." I don't know. It's just funny. My brother hitting me up to tell me about shit my friends post.
I actually have like one of the oldest posts that I have saved on my Instagram is actually a video of Chris.
Oh, is it the famous Wiener Schnitzel one?
Yeah. I'm going to play it for you guys on the pod. Oh no, did he get rid of it? Is it gone? Hold on.
Stuff like that never leaves.
Stuff like that never disappears from the internet.
So what would you give? Do we want to do ratings? No.
I don't want to do ratings. Yeah. I don't think we need to do ratings.
It was good. I'll watch episode 2 of Book of Boba Fett, but I don't know. I'm not gonna like stay up till midnight.
It's gone.
Damn. It was a funny video of Chris ordering Wiener Schnitzel.
I feel like it doesn't do any justice for us to tell what happened.
Yeah, no.
One of these days I'll find the video again, or I'll ask him to send it to me because I'm sure he still has it.
At the end, if we do our job correctly, at the end of this episode, we'll have it.
Yeah, we're not gonna do our job correctly. All right, so let's jump into our questions. Let's go into the question world and see what's up. So we have a question from Jeremy, he's actually the drummer of your punk band, Burner State. And he said, I have a hard time living in the present and consistently think about events in the future, which causes some anxiety. Has that topic come up? I guess you could discuss living in the present, how you keep your mind on the here and now, or if you guys have that problem as well. You know what's funny is like, I have this problem, but mine is more in the past than the future.
You're constantly thinking about your past.
I constantly think about my past. I constantly have this anxiety of like, what could I have done differently, or what could I have done better, or what could I have done, like to change things. But then like, in the weird comic book way, I'm like, oh, I wouldn't be here right now if, I hadn't done all these things, you know what I mean? But I still always think about like,
I like how you said comic book
in the reality way. No, I think about it in the sense of like Flashpoint, right? You go back in time, you change one thing, everything changes, So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am someone who does the whole future thing for sure. The past for me is I feel like I think I'm pretty good at accepting like, the whole things happen for a reason. Like the easy one for me would have been like, oh, I should have kept doing music. Should have kept doing that.
Yeah.
Like my mind can definitely go there, but I just reminded myself that like, had I not stopped when we did, continuing music would have been very dangerous for me. And so
why dangerous?
Because I was probably towards the end of MBR's time. I would say it's probably like the height of like a lot of like my really dark, like my depression was pretty bad. And
I do remember times when like you guys would be home from tour and like, you know, we'd have at that time, like my house was normally like one of the places that we would go to like hang out and party. Cause I was renting a big house with our buddy Bobby D, and it was only the two of us in this house. And that place was set up like the ultimate bachelor pad. Like there was like 7 couches, pool tables and stuff like that. And it was like an open door policy. Anybody that had the garage code could just be on your couch in the morning when you would come downstairs. So we'd constantly find people, or like people would be touring and like you'd wake up like, oh, whose van is in my front yard? And you know, whoever it was. But there were times that I can vouch for that. I remember we'd be at like parties or we'd be hanging out, and then you would have this like you were there, but you weren't really there, you know, like you were just kind of like, I'm hanging out, but I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Type scenario.
I felt really, like, especially some of that. I felt like really like checked out, I guess.
Yeah.
Too. But
There was one night you and I don't know if you remember this. There was one night you and I got super, super drunk because we were drinking together. Sorry, Mom. And you had a handle of Captain, and you were being casual, Mike. You're holding the handle of Captain. You're like, you and I are talking, and it just slips out of your fingers, and it just drops on the floor and shatters. Right?
Everywhere.
And both of us had been drinking so much that we both just looked down at it, and then looked up at each other, and we continued our conversation. Right?
Couldn't be bothered.
And my poor girlfriend at the time, Shelly, was just walking through with a mop, just cleaning up after us. Like, and she didn't really drink. She didn't really party at the time. So like she was just hanging out with all of us, and she was just cleaning up after us. And I think that was the same night when I was so intoxicated that I was walking through and I was opening up cabinets. And do you remember when McDonald's had those deals where you'd order a combo and you'd get like a Coca-Cola glass?
Yeah.
So we had a ton of those. We had a ton of those at the house. And I was just, I don't know what I was upset about, but I was like, all these glasses in here. You see this? This came from McDonald's. And I would just throw it behind me and like shatter on the floor. And we were just pulling glasses out of the cabinet and just throwing them on the floor. And here's the girls like walking behind us with a push broom. You weren't, but because like, you had dropped the bottle. And I was like, don't worry about it. Look at this. And I just dropped the bottle. And it was like just it was one of those nights. One of those nights. But you could definitely tell, like, at that point in time, you were just, you had a girlfriend at the time. Mm-hmm. At that time. Not at the very end, I don't think. At the very end of the run. I don't think you were dating anybody. But, like, leading up to the end of, or the last few tours. For NBR,
well, at the very end of touring, I was starting to kind of.
Yeah.
But, yeah. That was I don't know. It was like one of those things where I feel like, and I mean we don't have to get into this on this episode. I'm down to talk about this at another time, but yeah, the more successful NBR started getting, the harder it got for me, just because that's just kind of how I think my brain just doesn't let me enjoy things.
Is it because things got easier? Or is it because things felt too good? Sorry for the dogs in the back.
Probably, I don't know. Maybe like things being like too good. Because I never, MBR's never really felt easy.
Yeah.
You know, like I felt like, especially for us, we can never do anything like easy. But I think it was just more of like just maybe just higher expectations. And also, you know, like the best problem was that, you know, more people started to like approach me and want to talk to me and stuff. And I think it was just getting really hard. That's why I say it got dangerous, because it got really hard for me because I'd never been, I didn't go to school for any of this. At the time, I didn't have any training on how to like disconnect from something that I heard. And I was like losing sleep, you know, because it's like, it's one thing if like some total stranger will tell me some really horrific story.
Right.
Like that can stay with me just because I'm like, dude, I don't know how to turn this off. I don't know, like, I can't stop thinking about this. But then, like, you know, towards the end of our time with MBR, I started to really get more friends.
Yeah.
To start confiding in me or like sharing things with me. And then now it's like people that I like, you know, I care about. They're friends of mine. And so that was hard. That was hard to hear. Cause like there's things like, there's just some things that are really hard to hear. And especially when you know the person, it makes it even more difficult to like, just be able to like, you know, okay, now I'm gonna just have a fun night. You know, my friends, it's like, no, like you're kind of, and for the way I work is I'm constantly wanting, you know, I want to help and I want to be, you know, I want to have advice. I want to be able to like, you know, fix things. And so I overthink and I'm constantly, I can't let it go. And so I just chew on it. And then, you know, I was losing sleep on tour and sleep is like major for me on tour. And so I just, it was getting like really, really difficult. And, I think I think I said this on our last podcast, but had we kept going, had we like not had the accident and all that stuff, we would have broken up and it would have been like ugly, I think. Yeah. Cause I think guys would have just started like, just like straight quitting. Like at least with Martin, when Martin quit, it was kind of like, we get it. Like, like we understand. And
that wasn't it wasn't really an easy decision for him to make either. Mm-mm. You know, like it was just I have to kind of do this. But so that being said, so going back to what Jeremy said, then how do you stay present now? Like now that, you know, the constant touring is done, the, you know, shows aren't done, but you know, it's not a consistent everyday, like making a living type thing. How do you stay in the present and how do you not stress out about the future?
Well, I kind of stress out about the future a little bit. Just cause there's like so many things that I want to do. Yeah. And but I feel like I also, something I've been trying to do, especially like as of lately, is, you know, I'm trying to give myself things to look forward to. Right. And that's like, you know, I talked about this before. It's like, it could be just daily things I look forward to. You know, I like, you know, a reward for waking up is I get to go to my favorite coffee shop and get coffee. That's like something I look forward to, you know. I look forward to like our Saturday meetups. Like that's something to look forward to in the week for me.
Which we didn't do this weekend.
Yeah. Well, we did on Friday.
Yeah, but then like low key Saturday morning rolled around. I was like, I can't. And then Sunday or this morning rolled around. I was like, I have so much to catch up. I felt guilty this morning because I was like, I want to go get coffee, but I got so much to do.
Well, also it was closed, I think, on Saturday.
Saturday makes sense, yeah.
But yeah, so I kind of give myself things to look forward to, and so I try really hard. Actually, as I'm saying this, I'm realizing like I'm not good at staying in the present, but like I'm trying to get excited about things in the future, like things that I want to do. I'm trying to be excited about that, and I guess just to how to focus on the now. I don't know. Am I good at being present? I feel like I'm kind of good at being present, I guess.
Yeah, you've gotten better. I feel
like I'm pretty good at like being okay like in the now. I don't know.
I think for me it's tough because when like I said, like I tend to have anxiety a lot about the past. Like I'm really good at just being like, oh man, I could have approached that situation better. I could have done this better. I could have said things better. I could have said things differently. I could have done that, you know. And a lot of that just boils down to just like, you know, I do have a hard time not being in the present, but I have a hard time dealing with what comes from my actions or my decisions sometimes. Like, and that's kind of like I think about the future a lot and it really stresses me out. But at the same time, like if I either direction it goes, whether it's stressing about the past or stressing about the future, I'm going to be like a giant ball of anxiety if I start thinking about it. But I think I have more anxiety about past stuff is because I can't fix it. And I hate that. Like, I hate not being able to repair things. And I mean that, like, not even just emotionally. I mean, like, that across, like, my entire life. Like, if I have something, even down to, like, a motorcycle, right? Like, if something breaks, I want to fix it. And if I can't fix it, I get frustrated. And that completely applies to the rest of my life. So, Jeremy, if you're asking us how to stay in the present, I don't know if we're the best dudes to ask.
Well, you know what? I don't know if this counts. I was thinking about this for myself. I'm pretty good at, like, actually, as I'm saying this probably doesn't count at all. But I feel like I'm pretty good, like, especially like at work, or if I'm like doing an activity, like I feel like I'm pretty good at, like, for instance, like right now we're doing a podcast, and there's like obviously other things going on in our lives, but right now I can be like, I'm here. I'm here, and like I'm like, this is fun for me, and I'm allowing myself to be here. I think for my work, like I've mentioned, it's stressful. And there's some days where I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I can do this. These guys know. Like, when I see them on Saturdays, it's usually before one of my shifts, and it's a Saturday, so Mike and Martin are both off usually, and so that means they're both about to go do something probably fun. They're going to probably go get lunch or something, and so it's hard. I'm like, all right, gotta go to work. But then, like, once I get to work, I'm pretty good at, like, when I'm there, I'm like, I'm here now. Like, I'm here. So I want to be the best I can while I'm there. I want to be present for the kids. You know, I want to, you know, I think I'm pretty good at, like I used to say this at my old, at a Daily Brew. Like,
my old job.
I used to like, I'm a pretty, like, passive person. As far, you know, I don't really speak up too much about things that bother me or whatever. But for whatever reason, the times where I, like, you know, have the pants with the nuts in them, is when somebody, like, says, like, I can't stand when somebody goes, got 4 more hours left. Yeah. I can't fucking stand that. And so whenever people do that, I would just say, like, I'd call them out. I'd be like, hey, like, you're here. Yeah. Like, don't worry. Like, checking your watch isn't going to make the time go any faster. Like, you're here, be present. Like, you know, do your job. Like, work. Like, like, giving a countdown, and it probably just more for me. Like, I don't want to hear that. Yeah. Like, I'm already here. I'm clocked in. I'm committed to the next however many hours I'm here. Like, let's just try to enjoy our time. So, and it's just coffee. That was like my go-to saying for everything. I was like,
I think that just stems from, like, people not wanting to work in general. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like you have to do it, but it's not necessarily something that, you know, most people enjoy.
Which is crazy, because working at a coffee shop is fun.
Which, and I guess, you know, now that you said that, like, one thing I could say is this, for me personally, if I need to focus and stay in the moment and stay in the now, I have to do something. I can't just sit around. And that's when the thoughts of the past or present or future or whatever really get the worst, is when I'm just sitting around. Like, even if I'm watching TV or something like that. Like,
I was gonna ask if you're able to.
I can't watch TV and, like, turn off my thoughts of other stuff. Like, to me, I love watching TV and I love watching shows, but it's almost like a secondary thing to what's going on. So I actually absorb more, like, if I'm watching a series or something like that, if I'm doing something. Like, if I'm editing or I'm working on something and the TV's on, I'll get more of the show than if I just sit down and watch it. Because I could be watching it and there'll be, like, this really cool fight scene going on and my head is completely somewhere else. It's like this crazy ADD thing. But if I'm, like, on my phone and I'm like scrolling through Instagram or something like that, and there's something on the TV, I'll absorb more of it. Just, like, having, like, my hands do something. So that's why, like, when I'm alone, when I'm by myself, like, I'm in my garage and I'll just be like, hey, I think the bike needs an oil change. I think I need to clean something. I think I need to fix something. Because, like, I'm doing shit and that keeps me here and with what's going on. Otherwise, I'm spaced out completely.
Or freaking yourself out.
Or
bumming yourself
freaking
out.
myself out or making myself really sad.
Dude, it's funny. I would have, if you, like as you're talking, I'm like in my mind, I'm like, oh, I can just kind of turn off and just watch whatever. But I don't. I play. I have like this. I don't even know what it's called. It's like this. It's called Gardenscapes. and I play this game when I watch TV, or like when I watch a show, or even a movie sometimes. Yeah, maybe movies sometimes too. Not in the theater. I'm not. That's rude.
Yeah, I don't. In the theater, I don't.
But at home, I definitely play this stupid game. I don't even know if I really like it that much. I think it's just something that I have to do when I'm watching like something.
So like, okay, for movies, would you rather watch a movie with somebody that will like talk to you during the movie, or with somebody that just like don't talk to me to the very end?
Are we like at a theater, or are we like at my house?
Either or.
At a theater, don't talk to me.
Like at all?
No, I mean you can't. Like I'm okay. Like as long as you're like, it could be, yeah. Like what was that? Who's that? Was that anything? That's like my brother. My brother's like,
your brother's really funny, dude.
He's like, was that something? I'm like, no, dude. Or like he'll. What was that? I'm like, dude, I'm literally watching this at the same time as you are. No fucking idea.
We were watching Suicide Squad, and he would pause it and then just ask questions and then start playing it again.
Well, I mean, for that, I mean, I don't know.
That's at home.
I guess
though.
it's at home, so I don't mind. I can definitely like watch something and be talking and still enjoy it. I guess it just depends on what it is.
Yeah.
If it's my first time seeing something, maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't want to talk. If it's a horror movie, I'll probably be the one who's like,
"Hey, what's that?"
So like, I don't know.
Dude, we need to go watch a horror movie in theaters. I took Philip, who never watches horror movies, to see it, the first one in theaters, and he was like, "What are we watching?"
Yeah, poor Philip.
I'm like, it's a great movie.
You're a shit cousin.
I know. Awful. Yeah, man. So I guess for me, living in the present would be just keeping myself busy so that I can allow myself to be in the moment and present, versus, because like it's the ADD brain. If I try and focus on just this, I'm going to be, completely shot and somewhere else.
Yeah. But I think I'm with Jeremy as far as like the future.
Yeah.
Kind of stresses me out.
All right. We got a couple questions from intern Harry. Intern Harry asks, what impact has touring had on your relationships, and would you have done anything differently?
So I actually wrote a song about like just how touring ruined like chances for me to like to have like relationship romantically.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was a time, especially when like MBR, like I don't think like what. I feel like it had to have been before, like my ex Stacy. Stacy was a good girlfriend for being in the band. She's like shockingly cool about a lot.
Stacy was a good girlfriend.
Yeah, she's like super understanding. Like she wouldn't trip if like we stayed at someone's house and they were girls. She's like, did you get to sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, all right, good. Or like, were you guys out of the snow? Yeah. So all right, good. But
it takes not having a lot of insecurity to date somebody that's in a band.
Yeah. But before that, I was like running into like I remember I had this like streak. This is gonna make me. It's not as cool as it sounds, but I was like, I would like talk to these girls, and then they would be like, "Oh, that's cool. You're in a band." And like, "Oh, that's like I get it that you travel." And then like, I'm like gone for like 2 weeks. The tour's not even like halfway done, and then they just like be like, "Okay, yeah, maybe we'll talk when you come back. I don't know."
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna wait. It's like, all right, that's fair.
That's fair.
But yeah, I definitely had. It was hard for me to like date, especially just because it was most girls like didn't. You want to, if you date somebody, you want to date them. You want to be with them. You want to see them, and especially at the time we were gone a lot.
Yeah. And
so that was very difficult. A lot of my friendships in general, like it strengthened the good ones, and then it like killed a lot of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what was it? How were relationships affected?
Yeah. Would you have done anything differently? What impact did touring have on your relationships, and would you have done anything differently?
What I would have done differently. I wish talk text was a thing more when I was touring. I feel like that's become like my favorite way to like communicate now. It's because it's like I don't like texting. It's like whatever. And I don't like talking on the phone. So it's like the perfect middle thing for me to just be like, hey, what's up? Send it.
He says that, but his messages are like a minute and a half long. It's never just a hey, what's up? It's
well, like, I know, but it's like, it's so much faster than having to text everything. I'd rather just say it.
Voice messages from Mike are like, hey, so I was thinking that. Oh, dude, what's that? What is? Dude, watch out, bro. What's going on? Sorry, this dude next to me was holding his coffee and he almost hit my car. Anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah. So I was thinking that. Oh wait, he dropped his coffee.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. It's like very entertaining.
Well, then it's like I don't want to start over. Oh, dude, I was so mad at this. Okay, never mind.
Let's hear it. What happened?
So I was talking with a friend of mine, and he just needed encouragement. So we were having like a pretty good discussion about kind of a relationship issue kind of stuff. And so I started the message with him at about Central.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got to your house, so that whole time I was doing a voice thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We were in it. And as I'm about to send it, Martin texts me. Mind you, we're at the same house. We just both got to your house. And he called me to be like, hey, I can get in Mike's house. I know his code.
Yeah.
And he erased my freaking long ass message. I was so mad. I was like, cool.
Was that the day? That was the day we were picking up. I was picking up the camera, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Which yes, Martin has a code to get in my house. You probably should it by this point too.
He told me and I forgot.
You just always forget it.
Yeah.
So it's funny because like to me, my house is open to my friends and family, like whatever. But my Nest camera is like super delayed on getting me the notifications that somebody's at my house. So like when I walked into my house, I was like, oh, Mike and Martin are in the backyard. And then as I'm walking to the backyard to like go meet them, my Nest camera goes off and I see Martin walking into the house like 12 minutes earlier. I was like,
that is not helpful.
Nest, we need to talk about this. We need to get this turnaround time a lot faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyways, impact of relationships or impact of touring in your relationships. I've only had 2 real major relationships like while touring. And one was like right when things were starting to, I guess, get serious. And like with that relationship, I was very selfish in the fact that like playing in a band, playing music was something that I really wanted for so long that when the time came for me to actually be touring and be on the road and stuff like that, it was like this. We got an offer. I think it was potentially to do a short run with Suicide Silence. Rest in peace, Mitch. And for us, that was like, oh, cool. Like, yeah, we would gladly take that run. And I remember that was right at a time where my girlfriend at the time was wanting to do a vacation in like Spain.
Whoa. And
I'm like, hey, I'm not making a lot of money, but and then the tour came up. And so I remember telling her like, I may be on this tour. Like I may not be able to do this vacation. And I think that was like one of the tipping points where it was like, everything was like really about me and what I was wanting to do, which looking back, like I get it completely. But at the time I was like, yo, this is what I want to do with my life,
and probably for her to be like, oh, this is going to keep happening.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
like this is
I
gonna
think
happen
for her too, be
quite
like,
a bit.
yeah, is this something I'm gonna just learn to be okay with, or is it something I just don't want to have to deal with?
Yeah. And then the relationship I had after that, I was on Warp Tour, and I was getting all these messages from back home about how my girlfriend at the time was like skinny dipping with other dudes and doing all this wild stuff, and I was like in denial.
This is what I remember.
So, you know, that was rough too. So touring in relationships, it's tough, man. Like it really is. It takes a certain type of person, one that's not insecure, and two that's like very trusting to make that relationship work. For me, like for me, if I'm in a relationship and I'm with somebody, like I'm in it.
Yeah.
Like no matter, like, yeah, there's temptation all around for guys and girls, you know, and unfortunately we're living in an era where it's almost like glorified now, where it's like, oh yeah, like how many times can you, like, you know, cheat on somebody, or how many times can you be with somebody else, and like, or like toxic relationships, and like everything, all this shit is like glorified now. And it's like,
it's crazy to me because I always felt like when I had a girlfriend, it felt like one less thing to even like worry about.
yeah,
Like I just felt like, oh, I don't have to worry about this.
you don't have to worry about girls anymore.
Like, yeah. Like, I don't know.
And I don't know. It takes a certain type of person. So like, I don't know if I personally would have done anything differently, because at the end of the day, like the reasons that my relationship didn't work out really had nothing to do with touring. It had more to do with like just having different ideologies and like I said, moving in different directions. And then for the other one, it was, you know, that was a nightmare.
So what would you have done differently?
I don't think I would have. I don't think I would do anything differently.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't either.
I think that's one of the few things that like I wouldn't have not toured. I know what I would have done differently. I wouldn't have come home early from Warp Tour. I wouldn't have come home early from Warp Tour, because that was a dumb move.
You were young.
I was young.
You're young and yeah.
Young and impressionable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, that's a story for another time. But can't save everyone. What about you? Would you have done anything differently?
I think, I mean, like I was kind of joking, but the whole like being able to have like a talk recording, whatever, would have helped me to, like, I think, contact more people and been in touch with more people. But I don't know. It's hard because I don't. Yeah, I'm saying, like, more thinking about this. I don't know that would have really changed anything. I don't know that really could change anything.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So yeah, no. Good question, Harry. Intern Harry. He's our intern, even though we haven't really discussed anything.
And intern Harry also asked.
Well, we have big plans for him.
How have people helped your mental health throughout your career?
Ooh, good.
Talking music career or regular career, or both?
Let's go both, man. I definitely have. I have, like, especially when I was touring, and it's funny, whether they knew it or not, they were like big for me on tour. I had several people that were like a big deal to me on tour, just because they were either I could like basically like pick their brains about something if I was like struggling with something, and they can help me through it, or they were just a good conversation to, like, they could just, doesn't matter what's going on, just good energy. So I definitely had, like, there's like 3 people that I can kind of like I think of that were very helpful for me when I was touring. And then I think I haven't been in my professional career that long.
But you had school. You have some of the same mentors that have carried over. Yeah.
I definitely have had I had help. It was nice. I think my professors at my school were really cool. As far as just like being able to like give you time, like if you had anything, you know, it's always like assignment, like the question starts with like about the assignment, but then it's like, yeah, I've just had it really hard, you know, start like, yeah, I've been struggling. Yeah. And then they always had really cool things to say, but I definitely had some people. What was the question?
How have people helped your mental health throughout your career?
They just gave me an opportunity to talk. I have someone have someone listen to me when I needed to talk. I had some friends that just gave me some really good advice. You know, I used to pick a lot. I used to pick people's brains, especially like in the last, I'd say like the last like 2 years of touring. I actually started to meet actual therapists on tour, or just like people who like, you know, had some kind of experience. Mostly therapists, I guess. And I would just like pick their brains because I wanted to know like how do you protect yourself? How do you turn off from what you hear? And so they kind of So anyway, like I just heard different. They gave me pointers, but eventually I just needed to like learn how to step away and then like create better habits to like what's it called, like cope, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
For me, for the most part, like I think I've had a lot of good people around me that have been like a really good sounding board, I guess. I had a lot to learn, especially like the past, say like 15 years, like, you know, like is when even the past 10 years is like where I probably learned the most. Like I had, you know, like I was the prime example of like fake it till you make it. And then just like really starting to believe my own hype type thing. And I can admit that I had like a really bad, like I would get angry about when shows weren't good or like when, you know, kids didn't show up or like whatever the case may be. And then it was just like really humbling later on to really just see like the reality of everything. And then I also like, I had a very like, I had this idea that like I had to be known, or like people needed to know who I was. I felt like that was like the key to success, is to people knowing me. And then like when I finally like, cause we had the band, and then when that kind of ended, I did the solo music stuff for a while. Oh, we just lost the camera. We did the solo music for a while. And then at that point it was just like I just have to figure out, you know, like what's next, what am I going to do? And I kind of stepped away from everything. And when I stepped away from everything, like the amount of people that just fell off and disappeared was like eye-opening to me. I was like, whoa, like this was like our relationship was strictly based on the fact that like, hey, I'm in a hardcore band. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then so it was just this long stretch and period where it was just like, okay, I get it, you know? So there was like a lot of like humbling there, and like, okay, maybe people knowing who I am doesn't matter. Maybe people knowing what I do doesn't matter. And then I just stopped talking about all this stuff. Like if I meet somebody new, like it's a while before they ever find out that like I played in a band or I did music, or like I even, you know, I mean, if I met them through like, you know, I have the new band now. Mm-hmm. If we meet them through that, then obviously they know, but it's never like a point of conversation to be like, yeah, hey, this is what I do, you know? Yeah, but like throughout that time, like I've had a lot of people, the people that have stuck around, the people that have been around and have kind of like seen me through it all, like have all helped in their own way, even if it was like indirectly. So like there've been a ton of people, whether they knew it or not, that have really helped kind of mold, I guess, the person I am now, or the people we are now, you know? So we should probably fix the camera. Or we just keep going without cameras, because
how long will it take to?
It's gonna take a while to charge that. Yeah, the battery died. Let's just keep going audio only. Okay. Sorry, video people. Only 5 of you watch it on video, anyways. All right, so we got a couple more questions. Harry had one more question. How long have you and Mike been together?
Well, I think we really started hanging out a lot more when Martin left, right?
Yeah. Well, we also, I think, I mean, we've been friends for a long time, but I also think that like the pandemic is what started us hanging out together a lot more, because everybody like hunkered down and settled in with their girlfriends and their wives and their families and stuff.
That's what, yeah. I think when we really started to become each other's like support.
Yeah,
for being like I don't know, I guess whatever. Fuck it, we'll share. But like I've always been really good about being single, and I've been, and it's for a lot of it, was because I really wanted to finish school. Mm-hmm. Like I definitely have to say that a couple times to people, just to be like, hey, I'm just this isn't a cop out. I literally need to finish school, and this is kind of my focus now.
Yeah,
and that was real. And then I think I remember the first time, I feel like it was with you, man, where I was just like, yeah, man, I'm kind of lonely. Like I kind of wish I could date someone now.
I think we were barbecuing, and you and I, like, people were inside, like with their girlfriends, and you and I were out there. You and I were out there by the grill, and we were talking about our moms and how our moms were like, hey, it'd be really cool if like you would date somebody. And then that's when we started opening up about the whole like being single thing, and being at this age and being single or whatever.
Yeah, because I think up until then, I really didn't like, I don't know, didn't really like talk to anyone about that.
Yeah.
I think maybe my brother, but my brother, that's more just him being my brother and just being like, hey, is anyone in your life?
Your brother who can also say like, hey, it may take a while, but you'll find that one. Yeah, I think I really think that like, also, yeah, you're right. When Martin moved to Arizona is when we just started hanging out more, because that was like right around the time of that barbecue, and then like the pandemic happened, and then it was just like us. So we started hanging out, and then we just started working on a bunch of different stuff. Like we did the Fahrenheit track.
Should we tell this story then? Since we're on it.
Yeah, let's do it.
So normally whenever if I get asked to do a guest spot for a band, I always go to my buddy Kelly.
Yeah.
Like he already has like my settings.
He has a preset for your vocals.
Yeah. He's like, it's set to go. We have, like we already have like a system of like how much he'll charge me for it, whatever. And it's really not much, because I don't charge for guest vocal spots.
Don't tell people that.
I know, whatever. But I mean, there is I usually just do the fee for Kelly, because Kelly, it's his time,
right?
And we work that out. But so I had been and Kelly, like he has kids and a job that he's very busy.
And now, mind you, Kelly has done NBR records and an NBR record.
Yeah. Well, he mixed Cycles.
Yeah.
He was supposed to do the whole thing, but that was like just really sad. His dad passed away as we were doing pre-production.
Yeah.
And so we actually had to go with our buddy Daniel Castleman, and he kind of did it almost like as a favor to Kelly, not even to us really, because he knew, because obviously knew Kelly, and he knew, it was tough, it was hard.
And mind you, Kelly way more talented at this whole audio engineering thing than I am.
Kelly's a beast.
He's a beast.
And so I'd hit him up because I'd been asked to do a guest spot for my friend's band Fahrenheit from Spain, and they sent me the song, and I was so I was hitting up Kelly like, hey man, can we do this? I have a guest thing I want to do, and he's like, yeah, he had at first told me like, yeah, we'll do it, and then when it was getting time to do it, it was really hard to get a hold of him. He wasn't getting back to me, and and I don't take it personally at all. Like he's busy. Like I know he's like really busy, so he wasn't able to do it. So then, and the guys from Fahrenheit really needed to have the song done, and so it was Valentine's Day. I felt bad, but I was like, just see if Mike's free. So I hit up Mike. I was like, hey man, I don't know if you have any plans tonight, but would you be down to record a guest part for me? And
I was really busy at the time. Actually, I legit had nothing going on. I'm pretty sure I was just watching TV. And I was like, yeah, man, come over. Let's get this done. Let's record it.
So then we came and recorded, and it went really well. And it's just like it's like one of those like funny, one of those like jokey. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's funny because, you know, Kelly's usually my guy, and I've done, you know, several things with him. And then Mike comes through last second to do this thing for Fun Hate, and it's probably like the most like listened to or watched guest thing I think I've ever done. And
there's a music video for it. You filmed the video spot, everything.
Yeah.
Boy J Pash, you know.
Yeah. So it was cool. It was a cool song, man. I love that band. They're such great dudes. Mark, the singer from that band, him and his friends they showed me around Barcelona when we were out there, and they left the show early to show me around, and I just asked them. There's 2 cathedrals in Barcelona, and so I had asked Mark. Sorry, let me go back. This is on the Never Say Die tour, and we played second out of 7 bands. Then this tour had Terror, Stick to Your Guns, Comeback Kid, More Than 1,000, Obey the Brave, and anyway, I feel like I'm missing bands, but it was a pretty big tour, and we played second, and so I had like quickly gone. I think I showered. And so I came out and I was like, hey, Mark, I was like, okay, so there's these 2 cathedrals. Which one would you recommend going to see? Because I didn't have much time. I was going to have to just like, I don't know if I was going to can't remember if I was going to get a cab or something. And so he's there with like a group of friends. There's like, I don't even know. There's a good amount of his friends that are there. And so he like just turns around and they like talk, and they all like, right, all of them like kind of nod their heads like, yes. And he's like, we'll take you. And I was like, no. Like, guys, stay for the show. Because they all paid for the show. Like, it was, you know, I think we got Mark in, but I'm pulling up the flyer you had all the bands other than Capsize. Oh, Capsize, yeah.
Yeah. So Terror, Comeback Kids, Stick to Your Guns, Obey the Brave, More Than 1,000, No Bragging Rights, and Capsize were on this tour. And this is an Empiricon tour, so it's a big, this was 2014.
Yeah. So I was just asking like which one they'd recommend me going to, and they were like, "No, we'll take you."
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, guys, like it's okay. I can just tell me which one you think I should go to, and I'll go." And they're like, "No, we want to show you our city." And so like we all left, like they all came, and then I just spent that night that evening just they were like driving me around. They were showing me like cool spots. You know, we went and got coffee. Sick. It was cool. It was so cool, and like, it's rad that they did that. You know, they didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And so I was stoked that when so the Mark came out here after like maybe 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago? Yeah, at the little brewery where we all all hung out.
And so it was cool being able to have him like come out to and then like stay with the fam. So. Anyway, so doing that guest part was really fun to do, and it came out well. It's good song. I was happy that they had invited me to do that song.
Yeah, it's a banger for sure. It's a good song. I was trying to find the date of that show, but I don't see it on here. So what do you think? We got 2 more questions, which I feel like could spark up a massive debate, and I think we're running over our time. So I think we should save them for next week.
We'll just say them real fast.
All right. So Mitchell asked, "Is water wet?"
Yes.
Is it though, or does it make things wet? See, I'm telling you, this is why.
Dang.
This is why it could be.
Oh shit. Okay.
Like, is water itself wet, or does water make things wet?
It is wet, dude. It is.
Moisture is the essence of wetness.
And wetness is the essence of beauty.
I feel like we can go deeper into debating this. So question number 2, is pee stored in the balls?
Oh, pee is stored in the bladder.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Why are you asking me?
You work around doctors, right?
Pee is not stored in the balls. Other things are stored in the balls.
Yeah.
But pee is not. Sorry, Mitchell.
But thank you for the questions.
And
then my friend Kate asked, how are you guys doing? And I think we kind of did that in our mental health check.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Overall, we're good.
We're good.
With that being said, for the video people, I'm sorry this last 20 minutes or so. We had technical difficulty and lost the camera. But
like you said, only 5 people really.
Like I said, only 5 people really watch it, and who knows actually makes it to the end. We should do a poll, or how about this? If you made it to the very end of this podcast, and you were watching the video, or even if you made it to the very end of the podcast and you were listening, send us a message.
It says, "Raccoons for life."
Send us a message that says "Raccoons for life," and we'll personally shout your name out on the podcast.
Yeah.
See who made it to the end.
The brave one that made
Video or not.
Sick.
All right, guys.
I think that's
once again, help us out. Please give us a 5-star review. Follow us. Tell your friends about us. Social media platforms at Walking Blind Pod. You can email us walkingblindpod@gmail.com. You can follow that link tree that's on our Instagram. We've got an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Don't know if you've noticed or not, but make sure to check that out, and we will see you guys next week.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging.